6 days of pure magic. Human Design Rave Festival 2024.
Hey guys, and welcome to Human Design Rave Festival 2024. And today we're talking to Luca. Actually, I know Luca from the previous editions, from the marathon that we created in the previous years. That's been only online event. Yeah, now we're expanding. Now we're going to have an online version and an actual live auric version in Sofia, Bulgaria. And Luca has been very multidisciplinary. Not only he shared his wisdom and knowledge of human design, but also really helped us with the creativity part. So today, hopefully, we're gonna touch all these topics. So yeah, Luca, please, can you share a bit about yourself and like present yourself first of all?
All right. Thank you, Julia and Veronica, for this. It's pretty interesting to be interviewed like this. So, yeah, myself. So, all right, I'm 29 years old. I'm hitting my Saturn return. I don't know if everybody knows about this, but there's these cycles in human design, and today is actually the day of the design part of my Saturn return. This morning was, so it's really a new cycle for me. And I got into human design very young, and I got totally obsessed with it. Like that was the center of my life for, I don't know, over 10 years, 12 years, something like that.
Before
And
before you continue, can we
yeah,
go back to that moment and
sure.
if you can share how really that magic moment happened?
To me, the magic moment happened before I met human design because it was a readiness within myself. It's like a recognition that something needed to be fixed. It's like I got into Eckhart Tolle with the power of now. I was maybe 15. And by being present and present enough, I realized, okay, I'm present, but there's still something that feels not aligned, even if I'm present. So being present, it felt like, okay, it's good to be present, but it's not enough. And so then when I got into human design through my mother, it felt like,
Oh,
okay, this is a way to align the frequency and the body so that, uh, I'm present to something that is actually satisfying. I mean, that's the whole premise for generators in human design. And so, yeah, this is how it started. I just became first very interested in the knowledge, the theory of it, and then it was all about trying to live that, to respond and to understand what that means.
so
Um,
your mother was already experimenting and then she introduced to you the knowledge?
well, she took it more into the intellectual form, I would say, and she wasn't interested. Like, yeah, it was more that for her. She didn't like. I took it at heart, like a discipline, and for her it was more like interesting insights. So she had taken the LYD course, and yeah, I went much further, let's say, into that direction than she did. But yes, she was into that and introduced me to it. Yeah.
Wow, that's so rare to really be introduced to your
And how old
parent
were
to
you?
this.
I was 16 when I really got into it. Like, yeah.
Lucky, lucky.
Yeah, yeah, please continue. I'm interrupting. I was just
All
like,
right.
yeah, want to know
Well,
the details.
all right. So there was this whole thing. I was really into it. Like, okay, that was the thing. And then I don't know, maybe a year ago, something like that, something happened for me, and that really got changed. Like, human design is, I think, a very useful tool, but my direction and my center is not that anymore. Um, in a sense, it's like I was still very mental with human design during all this time, and now it's like I'm connecting to my body in a very mm, emotional way, in a very felt way, very sensory way, at a much deeper level. And so connecting with my body and with, I would say, my senses it's like, yeah, I was living in that frame of human design. It's like, it was like I was seeing the world through it, and now it's like I'm also just experiencing the world directly, and growing into that. So it's like, and this is kind of a process that I went through that I think is going really to be part of what I would be talking about. It was kind of a death and rebirth process. And so now it's like, okay, I kind of, something died and something got reborn, and now I'm like a stumbling kid that doesn't know much about this new world he's in, and is trying to figure out how things work. And in a sense, it's a bit like, okay, now I'm really into alive in a way. It's like I'm really in contact with life in a way that I wasn't before. So yeah, that's all I had. Yeah, do you have other questions? Or
Because Luca is pure individual, right? You're pure individual.
yeah.
So it will be interesting for us to hear about your process, because it can be like a download when you're connected to your creativity. And it's also interesting what you're bringing here, death and rebirth. That's what the Phoenix is about, the coming, changing frequency. And we're already seeing a lot of happening, and maybe these will, because we are intending the festival not for the theory anymore. It's to dive in and experiment, and it will be a transformative experience. And we're bringing you there to also be part of that, and bring your uniqueness to this table of abundance, shall we say, to really help people connect to their own process, and beyond theorizing and mentalizing about it, but really dive in and experiment and be together in a safe environment where we can do that, right? So your offering, it's a lot about, let's say, mutative process, and which is happening to you. And it caught my attention several months ago when we were talking about it, via my attempts to rebirth my French language. That's how it all started. But then you were like, oh, I'm into something and it's really different. And so do you want to share more about it, or you want to leave it to be mystical, or yeah?
I'm not sure. I don't know yet. I'm kind of unclear. I think it's pretty cool to leave some mystery, of course, because then it's like when people are there, they're gonna get the information. Yeah, I would say that. What do I want to say? It's quite an intense process, I would say that. And yeah, I did think of course, the Phoenix, and right now we are on the cross of the sleeping Phoenix today, the day of the interview. Yes, I think that this theme of death and rebirth might be, it is a theme for the future, and it's possible that some form of that has to happen for people to really be able to thrive in the next cycle. It's possible. And yeah, it is quite something. It is, but it's something also that I really wanted. You see, it's like, first I understood the theory of this process through some books that I read. And then I really wanted it. And then it happened for me. It's like I called it in a sense. And it was, I think my main aim in this, the lecture, would be to just tell people what that is, what that process is, what it's like to go through it. what it's like afterwards, what's possible, and just so they know it's there, because I don't think it's for everyone either. It's like, you got to go through all kinds of things that I think a lot of people might not want. So, but at the same time, to me, the reward is invaluable. So yeah, that's kind of why it's still important for me that people know about it. So yeah, do you have questions? Are there things that are interesting to you, or yeah, do you have a response to what I'm saying? I'd like to know.
Yeah, I certainly had a response if I invited you. But Julia, maybe you have some question to Luca?
Yeah. It's very interesting because you're saying that you were like, when you met the system, you were diving, you became certified, really going deeper, and now you are in the interesting point where you actually zooming out.
Yeah.
And this is very different from most of the teachers that we invited, because most of the teachers, this is their life. For me, human design also is my life. I teach, I study, I practice, and basically it's my full-time job. But what you're saying in your individual process, maybe because you are now departing the yeah or actually entering the Saturn, departing from your pure unconditional unconditioned state, and entering this totally different state. But okay, how is it for you now, that you dove so deeply, and where are you at your process?
Mm. It's really kind of this, it's like everything is becoming vibes for me. It's like it's all like it's a very sensory kind of world where, I don't know how to say, like, so first, let's say my responses, I used to only focus on sound. Marianne Winiger was pretty powerful in that, to kind of guide people to find the response through the sound, the sacral response. And so that was everything to me. And then it took, I don't know, I was really shaken. Like, I met somebody who really shook me out of my worldview, many times. And through that, it's like I kind of opened up to something else. It's like I had my mind, if I don't know if you're going to share my design, but in my design, I have a defined head center and ajna center, and they're strongly defined, especially the head center. And so that means that I can really have a worldview that's just, in a sense, very rigid, and just see the world through that, and that's it. And also my variables, which is about cognition, they're all left. And that means I can just see what I see, be very focused, and be so blind to so many things. And so I got this opportunity to actually come out of this shell, and human design was everywhere in that shell. This was my whole world. And so now it's like, I don't know, it's like human design is a map, is a certain map of how the Maya is, how the world is. And there's other maps, there are other maps that can also get you to places that human design talks about. Like, let's say, passenger consciousness is quite something as a concept and as a thing to live. And to get to passenger consciousness, I mean, for me, there's other maps that help me get there, you see. So yeah, I'm kind of zooming out like this. And yeah, like I said, it's all vibe to me. It's like it's all, I'm kind of in this world of where it's all consciousness. Like, it's, again, it's like I'm a newborn, right? It's difficult to describe, but like everything is like thoughts and emotions and sensations. And this is what I'm navigating now. It's not really about anything else than that. Like, people I think maybe tend to think of things as very physical or rigid. And now for me, everything is kind of blending in a different way. And so, yeah, yeah, again, it's like, yeah, you're in this new kind of paradigm, and it's like it takes time to kind of find your balance and your bearings, and see, okay, how does this work? So, yeah, it's quite difficult to talk about it, but it's interesting to try.
And actually,
But yeah, okay, go, Veronica.
mhm, when you mention those sensations and body, paying attention to the body intelligence, which is what human design is actually about. And
Yeah.
that's what we're bringing also to the festival. We're doing this sensual labyrinth, where we're going to stimulate exactly all the sensations and senses in people so that they can wake up to pay attention to those. Because we know as generators, you and I, although you met human design quite early, but with the life, with the family, with the socio group culture, the school, the main source of conditioning, like practically disconnecting you from your body wisdom and intelligence. So the first thing is to reconnect. So your lecture is about that, and also a lot of other practices we bring, embodying practices. Also, we have dance and other stuff, which is exactly to wake up us to, and to pay attention to what, because you can ask somebody, where do you feel that in your body? You have this certain emotion or this certain thing. Where do you feel it in your body? And they don't know what to answer because they're not connected to their body. So they don't even know, like, I feel it here or there, or so all these sensations, they're so important that we open up again to them, because we're here to be filters, right? Yeah. So we're really grateful that you're going to come with this topic and explore it together with the participants.
All right. Julia, I'm quite curious about what you wanted to say, if you still want to share it.
Yeah, I actually just wanted to navigate your answer into more practical way, yeah, because you were answering in a very like philosophical way, but
Okay.
I'm quarters of civilization. I'm like, man, you're not working with human design. What are you doing from the moment you wake up to the moment you go to sleep? As
You mean
simple as that.
physically? Yeah, well, I have a pretty set routine. So I wake up, and then I tend to drink a glass of water outside to take some light in, because I learned that is very healthy to regulate the circadian rhythm. And then I have some supplements that I like lion's mane mushroom powder. And then I take a cold shower, which I feel is really good for me. It's like puts my body into a healthy stress, I would say, and that also boosts dopamine. I mean, I've looked into some health things like this. And then usually I just lately I just come up here. I have like an attic which has been renovated, and so it's pretty nice to be here. There's more light, and I'm a light being in human design. I have this PHS about direct light. And so I really like the light here. And then I do some music, or I speak to people. That's also a big thing for me. And yeah, just like I say, navigating the vibes is like, what does my life force light up to, kind of in each moment. It can be okay, now I feel like playing the music, or now, okay, I think I should, because I have this project of starting to become a professional musician, and make money that way. And then okay, but do I feel like it right now? Does it feel aligned or not? And so it's always this kind of inner awareness of, how do I resonate with with what my mind is aware of, what is possible, you know, like I could think, okay, it's possible I could now play music, or I could talk to somebody, or, you know, like my mind is presenting me with these possibilities and the environment around me, and then the response now as a generator is much more felt, is much more about how I feel my energy, right? So like being really in contact with how each thing feels, you know, how does it feel right now to think about playing music, and is that is my body engaging in that or not, you see? And so like with everything, it's a bit like that, like with this interview, you know. um First, when I got, you know, Veronica, you asked me about the interview. When I saw it, it was late, and then I was like kind of nervous about it. I was like, okay, I've got some things to process first, you know. And then things moved. It's like, you know, I'm not emotional in human design, you know, my design is not emotional, but I feel like somehow my process is pretty similar to what people call the emotional process in human design. It's like, it's all about feelings right now for me. It's all about feelings and about how do I respond to things. So yeah, I play music, and yeah, something that's important for me lately is that I really enjoy is kind of deep emotional connections and sharing, like going into feelings with people. How do they feel? What do they need? You know, like nonviolent communication is something that I feel I resonate a lot with. And so yeah, it's a bit like that, like any area of life. Like it could be, you know, a job, or it could be building something or working or whatever that is. What matters for me now is kind of, is not what I do, is this alignment, you know, that decides if I'm gonna go or not. And it's very sensory. It's a bit like, you know, let's say I'm a little creature and I come out of my cave and I put my hand out and I feel, okay, is it warm? Is it cold? Do I like it? Does it make me want to go there or not? You know, and I kind of do that with everything. Yeah, so it's very sensory. It's very yeah, it's kind of a different way of navigating. Does it make any sense to you? All right.
So this brings you a lot of satisfaction?
Hmm. I would I don't know. Hmm.
It's like the sound that just came out of you is the answer in itself. I guess
Uh-huh.
every moment is a different moment.
Yeah, it is like that. Yeah, Julia. I like, sometimes you projectors amaze me with the way that you see me. Yeah. So yeah, if you were able to catch it, and that's a good answer, then that's a good answer. Yeah. And
Mm.
yeah, it is in each moment. It is exactly like that. And in a sense, you know, Ra was sometimes talking about frustration, in a way that generators always get frustrated when they get into a project and they want it to grow, they want things to evolve, and they feel stuck, or they feel like it's not going as fast as they would like, because they already want to be at the next step. And but that can be such a healthy frustration, you know. I mean, it maybe sounds weird, but because if I'm engaged in a process, let's say music, you know, I really like music, and then I play something, and then I listen to it, and I'm like, oh, okay, that's not as good as I would like it to be. You know, it doesn't seem like I'm yet at the level that I really see is possible. And so there is a little feeling with that okay, you could call frustration, because you're like, you want it to, you know, to be better, you know, something like that. But at the same time, there's a like because I love music so much, there's this balance that, yeah, but I love doing it anyway, and I'm doing it because I love it. So it's like this balance between the, I would like it to be better, which can be frustration, and then, you know, the other feeling, which is oh god, I just love this sound, or I like the creativity when it comes out of me, or um yeah. And I think both are beautiful for me, because that frustration, quote unquote, makes me want to grow. It makes me want to go further. It makes me want to expand and get to something bigger, you know, and all of that. And yeah, it can be crushing if it's too much, because then you just look at your flaws. Or it can be a dynamic force that if it's properly balanced, because, you know, you have other things that lift you really up, then yeah, it's a good dynamic way of I think living and going about. I don't know. Yeah, it's feels healthy to me. I would say that.
I love that you say that, because me as a dancer, I have the same, you know, when you study a new routine and you make a mistake and you're like, I have to start again now. And it is a way of frustration, but it's because you're loving doing it. It's, yeah, you have the stamina to continue until it becomes the way you want it. So yeah, absolutely connect to that. And thank you for saying that, because it's one of the myths in human design that if you're frustrated and it's a red flag, then you're definitely not going the right way. And it can be just guiding you in what you have to work more on, or like when we mention music or dancing or stuff like that, or sports. So yeah, thank you for frustration is not something to run away from. It's part of us at the end, to be a little bit stuck and then again continue and grow. And you're so right, because every time you imagine a project or something, you always imagine it to happen faster. I don't know why, but it's always like
that's true.
Yeah, and that the steps are gonna be easier, and then when you start the process, it's never like that. I imagined it exactly. It's a process.
Yeah.
A journey. Like life.
Wow, Veronica, it's so amazing what you're saying, because in my personal practice, actually, that's what I'm seeing so much with generators, is how to be happy. And it's not just my practice. I mean, this is a collective discourse. Yeah, if you're frustrated, something is wrong, go and fix it. And frustration is actually such a valuable state to look inward and see where you have not been aligned. And it's a source of information, actually. It's where you can investigate yourself and just, okay, it can be a teacher. And great, like, I just so love the way you put it, you know. It's because speaking about this can just bring so much peace to people, saying, okay, I'm frustrated, but it's not like end of the world. I can learn from it. Okay, let's befriend with frustration, with anger, with bitterness, with disappointment. They are part of life. We cannot eliminate them as phenomena, as a part of the process, because that's what we are being all the time, yeah, conditioned with out there. Just be happy. If not happy, that's it. You're not living your life. It's bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. So so much judgment, especially to ourselves.
Yeah.
It's a good lesson. Yeah. So Luca,
I'm enjoying Luca, you know, your very kind of abstract way of bringing yourself to the world. And I wanted to ask, but I think Veronica also wanted to ask something.
No, please go ahead.
Yeah, I was still wanted to ask something more focused, like can you shape us a little more, like where you're gonna take us in the journey, even though you still don't know the details as a proper individual. Uh, um, but I personally didn't really get it. So can you give me
Okay.
some
Are you talking now
spoiler, a
about
bit spoiler?
that the lecture I would be doing in the festival? All
Lecture
right.
or workshop or
Yeah, yeah.
whatever you want to call it?
Right. Okay. Okay, how do I make it understandable? That's quite a challenge. Um, okay, so I think something that many people are familiar with is especially in the new age, is this concept of limiting beliefs. So people have beliefs, and these beliefs are limiting. You know, like let's say somebody believes that, I don't know, that that you have to work at something you don't like in order to make a living, right? Somebody just believes that. They think, okay, this is the only way to live. And then of course that's a limitation. Then it's like they're not gonna even consider the possibility that they might find something they enjoy and be able to live that way. So this is this thing that the world as we know it, you know, is made of beliefs. We have all kinds of beliefs that we don't see are beliefs, you see. And so for example, somebody might have this belief that, okay, if you're frustrated as a generator, that means you're not self, you're not living your life. And so that's a belief, and that is a limitation again. And then you live in that frame of how you see the world, and how you see yourself, and how you judge other people, and how you judge yourself. And so kind of this this process I'm talking about is about destroying certain beliefs, certain very specific beliefs. And once you've destroyed them, and you've destroyed them by basically seeing that they're not true, that's pretty much it. And it's a journey, right? And there are different tools to get there. It is a process. And there's also something, sorry, you want to say something?
I don't know. I'm just laughing because I would even cut your sentence half and start with just seeing the beliefs. Not that they're not true, but just even seeing that they exist, because that's where it all started.
Right.
Sometimes we don't even recognize that we do have them
That's
because
true.
they're so much imprinted in us.
That's true.
Mhm.
That's true. Yeah. 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 It's like we don't see them. It's just our world, and it's unconscious, and it's like we're taking for granted. We think, of course, like if somebody asks us about them, you're like, of course that's how it is. Like you don't even think about it, because you think it's so obvious. But what you think is so obvious might not be true at all. And so one of the things then with questioning beliefs in that way is that it can also bring all kinds of emotions which are not pleasant at all. Because I mean, there's a certain certainty and comfort that comes from thinking you know what's going on, you know. And when you realize, okay, I was wrong, that wasn't true, now what's going on, I don't know, you know, you lose your anchors, you lose what you think is true and real. And that can be scary, that can be really intense emotionally to take. And so this is why I think that this journey is not for everyone, because of the potential emotional consequences. And some of these beliefs that, you know, are part of this process that need to be removed are so deep. It really changes your world. So this is why, to me, it is a certain death and rebirth, because who you thought you were has to go. It really has to, in a sense, you got to let it go. And that can be really scary. And from there, for me at least, well, there was this rebirth. There was something else that came alive, and that is, I think, much more aligned to my real life force, rather than what my beliefs were, which are so much a part of my conditioning, right, in human design through the open centers and all of that. So yeah, and then from there you're in a new place, and you've everything to learn, and you're also very alone in many ways. It's like me now with you. Like it's difficult for me to explain what life is to me right now, and not many people are where I am, you see. And And in the end, we're all, human design does say that we're all alone, right? We each have our own Maya, our own trip, our own universe. We are so unique. And yeah, I mean, I'm in that space where it's also part of my design, right? This aloneness. I have some lines that go there, but I see this aloneness at another level as well. And so, yeah. Do you have other questions? Do you have other things that are maybe not clear enough, or?
Actually, I love that you brought the lone part, because there is a difference between loneliness and embracing your aloneness. Like, it's two different things. And in a way, we're all of us human design enthusiasts around the world, living our lives and our movie, and having quite lone trip in a way in that. So also that's something that we want to bring with the festival, is to actually meet, and simple as that, just meet, be in aura, and connect and experience and share, because we as passengers, we want to share our view, right? And I'm even getting emotional I get goosebumps like just talking about it, because maybe also I'm left profile and it's so important for me, the other, but yeah, I find it beautiful that us, the lone wolves, can actually get together in a pack from time to time and exchange. Yeah. So I don't know if it was abstract, but to me, I could really connect to what you're saying, and I feel it's gonna be transformative. And yeah, I'm glad we're gonna meeting soon, live.
Nice. Yeah, me too.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Well, is there something you want to say as final words to the people watching, Luca? Maybe, yeah, or not?
Well, I want to say this, that I was there at the festival live in 2019. When was it, Julia?
Yeah.
In Romania, yeah, and Veronica. And it was so nice for me. I mean, that's such a beautiful environment to me. So, I'm really looking forward to that, meeting people again like this, in this kind of similar context. And so, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, if that's, in a sense, to me, it's all like this choicelessness, and I have such trust that is there in me about things being right no matter what happens. And so it's like this perfect orchestration of, where people are at, what they're drawn to, and what's going on. And to me, I guess my final thing is just this surrender, and this trust in in being, that I want to leave people with. That's really a beautiful thing to feel that, and to really feel that in your body, and to live from there. And it's not like I always remember it, but I often remember it. And yeah, I guess that's one final thing I want to share with you.
So if your passengers brings you to the festival, don't surrender, don't surrender, don't
resist it.
Don't resist it. That's the word.
Yeah,
That's the word.
yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, we would love if your geometry brings you to us, guys, because we're feeling it's gonna be amazing. experience for all of us.
Mm.
Yeah.
Whoa, thank you for
So
your
see you
time.
soon. See you soon.
Julia, you were stopped a little bit. So maybe that's also a sign that now the universe says that we have finalized. We brought it into reality, this interview. It's here and it's going to be aired very soon. Yeah. Okay, then bye for now. And we cannot wait to see you. Looking forward to see you live with your offering.
Looking forward to be there.
Thank you, Luca. Bye.
Ciao.
Get your tickets today. See you soon.